So that's what I was alluding to.
All right. You say that has not been done in terms of formally addressing the party members. One of the first key decisions that was made right after Raila Odinga passed was the installation of Dr. Odinga as the party leader.
Yes.
Is that a decision that you think was done procedurally?
The decision of procedure is not up to Winnie Odinga. It's written in the ODM constitution. And this, I don't want this to be personalized on the matter of my uncle, as though this is a private matter that we're being discussed in public. I love my uncle loves me. I know under the screen you have that rolling screen that tells people what the speaker has said. Please, that should be the headline. Winnie loves her uncle and her uncle loves her. The matter is people misrepresenting themselves and moving in a manner that I feel is not respectful to the creeds of the party. I don't believe they have acted in a manner that was respectful to the wishes and creed of the former party leader. I also don't believe, I know for a fact, that they are not being respectful to the constitution of ODM. The constitution of ODM, not written by Winnie Odinga, says that no member of the Central Committee or the NEC is able to act on behalf of the party of ODM unless they are ratified by the NDC. That is not a personality matter on the party leader. That includes the chair, the current deputy chairs, and many people in that committee. Therefore, misrepresenting themselves, and at a time when they should have been informing the party, giving us a way forward, the party was mourning their leader. They forced a celebration during a mourning period. They went and did an NGC and misrepresented that they are the ones in charge, knowing very well they are not in charge, until an NDC happens. They've gone further to begin talks. They are unable to begin talks. If there was somebody sneaky, they could actually go to court. They are not following the procedure, which to me shows a lack of good faith, a lack of goodwill, a lack of, they're unwilling to listen to dissenting voices. People question, people say anything. The custodian of our constitution is the SG. And all of a sudden, people are being told to leave. That is not ODM.
So, Dr. Odinga should not be party leader. What would you suggest would be the remedy for that? I think
Dr. Odinga is a wonderful acting party leader in this transition period. We were all caught in a shock, and he's steadying the ship. This is not a very easy ship to steady, but he's weathering the storm, and he has said it very many times that he's acting transitionally and will make space for other young people. On the personality, my uncle has lived a life of determination, of strength, of loyalty. It would not be incumbent to me, or Winnie Odinga would be the last person that at his age of 82 years would allow his image or his legacy to be besmirched by a political tug of war. What some may seem as perhaps antagonism is actually protection, in my view. And we are very happy with him being in the position that he is. And after seeing the manner of how some people are behaving, he's certainly the best person in that position.
Even though that was not procedural, as you've just said?
The procedure is still being done, as I've told you. They are still acting until the NDC is done. So the party must do the correct thing. He is the best in that seat right now.
So let me ask you this, because Dr. Odinga is your uncle, he's your father's elder brother. He's now the party leader. At what point during a rally, he'd said, in response to remarks similar to what you're making here today, he said, "Hayo mambo tutaongea nyumbani." Is there a family feud between Dr. Odinga
No, absolutely not.
And yourself?
If there was a family feud, I really doubt he would discuss it. He would tell me that in public. He's a funny guy. His humor is different. And actually, all our humor is different. And mambo ya nyumbani tunaongea kinyumbani. But mambo ya chama is not to be discussed at home. And when it comes to the party, any member of this family or this party or this society is free to discuss. And I believe Dr. Oburu will be the first person to defend my right to have differing opinions.
So what's your relationship with him at the moment?
I love him. He's my only dad. I don't know why this has become national news. I've told you, and I've said it very many times, I love my uncle. Our family is tight. This is who we are. And we have absolutely no problems at all. You said we're having a family meeting. We've had several. And I feel that is just a private matter.
On the political front, he is leading a group or a section of ODM members who are calling for a pre-election coalition pact between ODM and UDA. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts around this proposal? Because it seems to have split the party down the middle.
The trouble with Kenya is always making things dichotomous. You have to understand how ODM came into this situation. We had some disputes after the election. Shortly after that, a year or two later, the young people of Kenya went to the streets. The matter became extremely elevated. My father, in his wisdom, tried to bring the two factions aside. The Gen Z faction, of course, said they were leaderless and were unwilling to have any sort of talks. So he went around meeting different people of society and came up with what he felt were the pertinent issues they were discussing. That is the 10-point agenda. Okay? That 10-point agenda was promulgated on the 26th of August, 2024. It has an expiry date, which is the 7th of March, 2026. In that document, he also says that this is not a coalition agreement. So he put that date so that at that point, we would review how far are we on the issue of social justice, on anti-corruption, and all the other 8 points. And then we review our terms based on that. And I feel as the fourth estate, you may be asking the wrong question, asking Winnie if she loves her uncle or not. The question you should be asking, on point number 1, where have we reached? On point 2, where have we reached? Because this was a social contract with the people of Kenya. Therefore, if you trash it and you have not completed it, then on what basis are you negotiating for the people of Kenya, of the people of ODM? On what you promised them something? It cannot be trashed simply because Raila Odinga died. On what basis are you negotiating? That is the basis. The 10-point agenda is the basis and the beginning of negotiation, in my view.
I'd like us to listen once again to something you said in Kibra over the weekend. You were saying hamanitishi, hamani babaishi. Can we listen to that first?
Vitisho vya peni mbili vitanifanya mimi nini? Amnitishi, amnibabaishi. Nasikia kuna watu wengine walisema hatuwezi kuja hapa. Hakuna siku baba aliwahi let anybody atoke kwenye hii chama. Wanaongea sana na tukiuliza maswali wanasema tutoke kwenye chama. Tukitoka watabaki na nani kwenye hii chama?
Nani anakutisha Winnie?
Anajijua. You see,
tuambie ni nani?
No, we've reached a point, and I have to speak this on behalf of the leaders of ODM, because I'm the only one who's able to say it. People are being intimidated in the party of ODM. People are being de-whipped simply for showing up on that stage with me. People I did not even invite. By being removed in committees, in county assemblies, in parliaments. We've reached a situation where you're being told to fill out forms on whether you support the regime of the day. If you do, then you'll be given TSC slots. If you don't, God knows what happens to you. There is full-on intimidation of members.
On what basis? Why is there intimidation?
I feel that those in the party that have a different agenda and they're hell-bent on achieving this agenda, no matter what it may take. And
Who are those?
how much are you going to pay me?
I don't pay for interviews. Keep going.
I don't reveal all secrets. As much as I'm honest, I don't reveal all secrets. But I can't do it. I can't do it because it's going to put certain people in a lot of trouble, simply because of the level of intimidation that we're in. Now, Winnie Odinga in Kibra, there was a joke a cousin of mine said, that when you see Winnie grabbing a mic, no, things are terrible. Winnie Odinga standing there in Kibra had not tried all other options of recourse with people of leadership. I have tried to speak to them, I've tried to tell them, we cannot leave the people behind. And so when you see something happening that is going the wrong way, lazima utupe mchanga. You have to do what you have to do.
Who have you spoken to in the leadership of the party and told about your concerns?
Who do you know to be in the leadership of the party?
Well, there's several people. Who have you spoken to?
Several.
What was their response?
It's played out in the public.
You said, we will not leave this party which we fought for. Are you a member of the ODM party?
Yes, I'm a lifetime member.
Because that's been a question for some people.
It cannot be a question because I'm an elected member of parliament that represents the people of Kenya in a regional parliament nominated by my party, the ODM, the Orange Democratic Movement Party. It cannot be a question. It's obvious. One precedes the other. And as I stand there, I represent the people of Kenya. We don't necessarily have constituencies. So my only constituency is the people of Kenya. And therefore, I do everything and move every way and make every decision in regard to the people of Kenya. If we go to an NDC and the people of the party say this is what they want, then I'll sleep well that night, knowing that the people have ratified the decision. But the most important channel or the largest, strongest organ of the party is the people of Kenya, and their voice is heard in the NDC. As it stands, the party is only utilizing 2 organs. We have several. So for me, ODM was not also an SPV. Some people have parties where they do what they want and throw it. This is a party for 20 years. So if a child was born 20 years, now they're in university. So somebody whose party started 2 years ago, those are kindergartners. Those are not the ones to tell us where we are. This party will have different opinions. It will have different choices. But this party belongs to the people. We have never moved a step without them. We will not begin now.
Have you tried to call for an NDC? Is this something you've discussed with the
I was the
leaders of, like having these discussions with them first before?
Yes. But there's a process to an NDC.
Yeah.
For example, you don't just call an NDC to ratify leaders. That's just one agenda in an NDC. What are some of the reforms? What are some of the agendas you have for the people? We're going to an election next year. You also have to tell them what you've done and what you've not done and why you've not achieved it. But there are certain reforms that this party has to go through. This party has to be refreshed. This party has to move from being so centralized and send resources to the grassroots, help its grassroots offices grow, help those people recruit other members. This party cannot be restricted to one area of its chambers. It's got very many avenues. And therefore, for me, that is what I'll be seeing at the NDC, the reforms, the refreshment, and the restoration of the party ideals. That's what I think the NDC is about.
Is there an appetite for an NDC within the leadership of the party? Based on your conversation or observations with them? The procedure of course, calling for an NDC aside, but based on your conversations with them.
Yes. Well, certainly they've been going around rallying support for that. Mm-hmm. I don't know everybody's personal agenda, but certainly you've heard that we are at least speaking on the same page on that one, from the same script on that page.
Okay. I'd like us to talk about some of those, the members of of the leadership, and indeed many who have talked about conversations they've had, last conversations they've had with your father. And some of them include the leadership. Maybe we can start by talking about some of those conversations, about some of these people in your father's life. Let's start by talking about Junet Mohammed. He has said he was close to your father, he was a confidant. What do you know about him and the relationship with your father based on your observations around Raila Odinga?
I am not somebody who will rewrite history now. Junet was a close confidant of my father. And I think Junet will speak on Junet. And I was not party to every conversation my father had. What I'm saying is nobody was. And nobody knows what he wanted, including myself. Our only point of reference is things like this 10-point agenda. The only point of reference is his manifesto. The only point of reference is what he said in public. So his private conversations and relationships, again, like I told you earlier, I don't believe is appropriate for me to discuss about.
How about Gladys Wanga, who's the chair of the party as well? Many have spoken about, the direction of the party. What's your relationship with the party chair?
She is the governor of Homa Bay, a position that I believe is momentous, especially in that region, electing women to higher office. I believe she believes she's correct, and I believe she's doing what she believes is correct for the party.
Do you believe that what she's doing is correct for the party?
I believe she's trying her best. This is not an easy thing to do. I believe she's trying her best and maneuvering very many things, including governing the county and still traveling around the country throughout our days. And I believe she's trying her best.
Is her best good enough?
I'm not the owner of the grade sheet to say what's a pass, what's a fail. I believe.
But you are a party member.
Yeah, but I believe her question will come to the people of Homa Bay and they'll decide if her best was good enough.
How about for the party?
Like I said, until an NDC ratifies, she's still there in acting capacity. And it's also unfortunate that she just became chair and the party leader, the head, the light, suddenly died. And that brought a lot of confusion. So I believe she's trying her best.
All right. I want to ask about another gentleman whom we saw emerging, I think, towards the end. There's a gentleman that calls himself Okech Sala. We've seen video clips of him. He says he was close to your father until the end. He claims he funded some trips, and he has some things to say about the party, but most of all about Raila Odinga. He calls himself Raila Odinga's adopted son. Winnie, do you know Okech Sala?
I've met him. But I'd like to believe nobody really knows him. I also feel sad for him. You know, my father died, and that was a very traumatic experience for me. But at least he died with somebody he knew loved him. And I believe people need to take better care of their loved ones. And mental health is a really important thing. When you live here and you go on Thika Road, there are two options. You either turn right as you're going to Mathare, or you turn left and you're going to DCI. Because a flat-out lie that you were there at the time of my father's death and you were not, talking things that did not occur, is quite dangerous. It makes me question a lot of things, what would be those intentions. So I believe they're just two places that should be rushed with immediate effect, one or the other.
I'd like us to talk about family and politics, because that's sort of the direction we're heading into. and about your mother, Canon Ida Odinga. She's also a political figure. I mean, politically, she wields quite a bit of influence. Some say that when you speak, that a lot of that is her will, is her words, is her influence on you. To what extent has that shaped who you are today? We talked about your father. How about your mother?
I believe my mother has also shaped me in equal measure. She's a strong woman who has done everything in her own right, on her own merit. And she's somebody I've always admired. And so looking up to her to advice is a normal thing. We have a normal mother-daughter relationship. But certainly even she cannot control everything that I do.
Mm-hmm. Any comments to her recent nomination to Kenya's permanent representative and ambassador to UNEP?
No, I'm extremely proud of her. Well, the whole family is proud of her. Like I said, she deserves it. She stood on her own for the past 40 years. In fact, before this, the last thing any government or president ever gave her was retiring her as a teacher 40 years ago. But she stood firm, loyal, strong, has fought for the rights of women. She's a geography teacher, has fought for different aspects of this society. She's a member of the society that I believe many people look up to, and I believe she deserves and has earned it. And I'm extremely, extremely proud of her.
Mm. Why do you think that appointment has triggered so much public debate? There have been people who've asked her not to take up the position. We recently heard her accepting the nomination. Why do you think there's so much public debate around it? And what's your response to it? Should it?
I couldn't answer that directly. How I feel is pride. So I couldn't speak for those people. Perhaps you'd ask them.
How do you feel about the people that say she shouldn't take it up?
What are their reasons? What I'm asking you.
No, some of them say she shouldn't, and this is tokenism, and doing this just because Raila Odinga and President William Ruto were in some sort of working relationship, and that she doesn't deserve this. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it on out on social media, her background and whether she's the right person for this, and that this is something that shouldn't happen. That spouses shouldn't necessarily be given this as a reward rather than on merit. Do you think your mother merits this position?
I absolutely believe she merits it. Mm-hmm. She's qualified, she's educated, she's had experience governing and managing at very high levels with the society. And I believe she's earned a position of respect within the society. The nature of Kenya is, there's an idea or a feeling of scarcity. Every time somebody gets something, somebody else will also feel that perhaps they're the ones who deserved it. But I believe she's going to do the right thing, and I believe she deserves it.
While we're still talking about family, you went to Kibra with your brother over the weekend. How do you relate with him at a family, and also I don't know if there's any political level. I mean, you have to understand you are a political family, and the Odinga name has dominated Kenya's politics scene for decades since independence with your grandfather. But so talk to us about you and your brother and why you went to Kibra over the weekend. Aside from, you said walisema musikanyage huko, so mulienda huko kufanya nini haswa?
Again, Yvonne, I've never seen you interview anybody and ask them this many personal questions about their interpersonal relationship. He's my brother. I don't know, I find that question ridiculous. How do you relate? We're cool, he's my big brother. Kibra is a place we've been going for over 40 years. It's home, it's a neighborhood. We go there, we've always been there. We know the places when we're there, where we go and who we interact with. We were not put in certain, how do you say it, pockets, shielded away from society. We grew up as part of this situation. I'll tell you, Yvonne, for example, I believe the reason you're asking me all these questions is you're trying to figure me out. And I understand I'm an anomaly in a sense. A person who's grown up in a certain background, and those that have the experience I have seek different futures. And there are those who get in positions of power, and when they get there, it's my turn to eat, and they want to eat everything. And they've got a scarcity mindset. I don't come from a scarcity mindset. I don't have that mindset. I chose the people. I went to school, I did what I had to do. I chose to come back to Kenya. I'm sitting here in front of you 3 months after my father died, having had to suspend my mourning because I see that what is going on with the people is not necessarily right. And that is who Odingas are. So we are different personalities with different skill sets. But at the end of the day, I can tell you where the people are, where the Odingas will be.
I'd like us to continue to listen to some of the statements you made in Bondo at the burial of Raila Odinga. You did make a statement about wanting to come home. You said you are ready to come back home. Let's listen to it.
Your Excellency, our people appreciate you honoring our father. Thank you for standing with us. You should also know, in case you are wondering, I'm ready to come back home, if you are wondering. To all the leaders we visited around the world, I will return personally to thank you. Thank you, Kenya. God bless you all. God bless the Republic. God bless Baba's legacy. Long, the king is dead, but long live the crown.
What do you mean you're ready to come back home and you were speaking to the president directly?
I think it's self-explanatory. When called upon, I serve the country. I am serving the country at a regional level. But my heart always belongs in Kenya. Kenya owns my heart. And I would like to be back home with the people.
What would you like to do back home?
Whatever the people want me to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this was addressed directly to President Ruto.
Yeah.
Were you asking him for a job?
No, I was not.
What were you asking him for?
I wasn't asking him for anything. I was telling him that I would love to come back home.
Okay.
Yes.
What would you like to come back home and do? I mean, there's anything, but you strike me as a woman of purpose.
Yeah.
So is it just anything?
I think we're not quite understanding each other. Like I explained earlier, I'm a person who stands with the people, wherever they want. Right now, there's talk about me standing in very many positions. If the people tell me they want me to be a local politician, perhaps an MCA, that is what I'll do. If they tell me they want me to work at different capacities, if they tell me they want me to go back to Yala, that is what I'll do. My concern is that the voice of the people is not being heard in this country. I mean, within the ODM party. And my concern is the voice of the young people is not being amplified or is being completely squeezed out. For me, where the young people have space, it doesn't matter to me a lot of the political inclinations. I am wherever young people have space, because there are those who say one term, those who say two term, and I say young people are no term, because they never get a term to do anything in this country. So for me, until that space is opened up for more young Kenyans, I'm ready to stand in the gap, so to speak.
So in terms of political ambitions, you say it's where the people will ask you to, but do you have any ideas of what you want to do? Because I'm sure you've thought about it, have you?
Not particularly, Yvonne. You know, I have been mourning. That's not necessarily how I think. I think in terms of needs. When we went to Kibra the other day, we went to a former chairman's house who had just died. You know, deep in Laini Saba, we went to the home. The living conditions, the people there told me they had not had water for 3 weeks. Their power is being rationed. Life is difficult. I get messages every day about school fees. When you have your cousin in the village who just got a seaplane and no university is accepting him, and you have to keep sending money even though there's no option for him. These are Baba's people. When you have a lady who used to work for Mzungu, and one day USAID had been cut, the Wazungus left, she now has nowhere to take her kids. She has she's impacted by decisions. Where do you take the people? These are Baba's people. When you have somebody deep in Changamwe who is crying, somebody they love is dying of a disease, where do we take these people? The quality of life, the quality of enjoyment of life, of upward social mobility, is the most important thing to members of ODM. Therefore, Baba had these millions of people in all corners. I've gotten calls from Ijara, from Tokchok, from Namanga. People who feel stranded, people who feel hopeless, people who feel that the conversation they are having is completely different from the conversation the leaders are choosing to have with them. What do we do with these people? So for me, it doesn't matter, Yvonne, if they tell me to stand on top of the roof and sing every day. If that will improve the quality of lives of these people, of Baba's people, I will do it. 90% of people who joined the ODM party believed in Baba. They are mourning too. They are lost too. So the conversation has to be centered on them. It cannot be centered on whether I love this family member or this one. It cannot be centered on if I want a job or not. It cannot be centered on shenanigans and wrangles. The only conversation the leadership of ODM should be having now is the well-being of the people of Kenya. A year and a half to elections, you want to enter a football match, you don't even know if the referee has a whistle or if he has boots. You're talking about so many things. This IBC, are they prepared? Have we reached our milestones? Because that will impact everything. These people, what are their social needs? Are we fulfilling them? When we're having conversations with other people and talks, what is agenda number 1? What's number 2? What's 3? What's 4? Number 1 to 4 is the people of Kenya. That's what it has always been for Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. And that's what it will always be for me.
What if you're called, because you say, you know, you want to serve the people's needs and the social needs. What if you're called to serve those needs at government level, when if you're offered a position as cabinet secretary, principal secretary, or any other senior level in government, would you accept it?
I certainly would have to have a conversation. And what my people feel now. You see, we're in a very precarious place in this society now. When you say you support one side, you alienate yourself from the other, and vice versa. In my opinion, it'd be irresponsible to say this side or the other side. It's like asking me to pick between tea or coffee. My concern is about the quality of the beverage, not the quality of the cup. So if some quarters feel that that is not appropriate, if I talk to the people and they feel that is not appropriate, then that is what will happen. If I talk to the people and they ask me to do that, then that is what will happen. I don't feel I am the voice to fan flames of division on that matter. I think it's already a very divisive...
Do you think that would be a divisive issue if you were asked to serve or if you're offered a job by the president?
Yeah, I believe so. Most things we do are maybe not divisive, but maybe inflammatory. Maybe there are those who may feel I'm not qualified. Maybe many things.
Do you think you're qualified to be a cabinet secretary?
I know I'm qualified.
Under this administration?
I'm qualified under any administration until the Constitution of Kenya is changed. But what the Constitution says is required for somebody to become a cabinet secretary. I have.
I ask this because some would ask whether President William Ruto is courting the family, or maybe it's the other way around, considering your statement telling the president you are ready to come back home. Because you went to Iyala on the basis of being a member of
ODM.
But yet you were directing your request to come back home to President William Ruto, who is party leader of UDA.
Well, I was not speaking on party lines. I was speaking at the funeral of my father, who you know had reached his arm across the aisle. I also went to Iyala by getting support from both sides of the aisle. That is what an established democracy is. On the matter of courting the president, I will say this. Since the passing on of my father, the only senior leadership that has come to check and take care of us as a family has been President William Ruto. And the thing about the Kenyan society is they love to put things as us versus them. I can still like you and disagree with you, or vice versa. But on a personal capacity, if you knew the village I woke up in India, and I was here within 24 hours, I must be grateful for the honor and respect that he accorded my father in that period.
So what's been your interaction with the president since you said he's been the only one who's come to check on you and the family since Raila's passing?
Yes, but you know, my interaction is also quite limited. I may know many things, but and don't forget my sense of occasion. One thing people forget is they forget to know their place. I know my place. I'm not just texting him, hey, what's up, man? What are we doing today? Did you see that goal? No. I must respect the presidency. I respect the office of the presidency, as well as I also respect the voices of the people. Two things can be true. So it's not a casual thing. It's a respectful thing. He was my father's colleague. I must respect that. Yes, and I do.
On the issue of, I'd like us to now go into politics and those talks that are happening, at least on both sides of UDA and ODM. You know, the president, in having a parliamentary group meeting recently, has talked about the need for a pre-election coalition pact between both parties, saying there is a need to have a resounding win. If this matter came up to an NDC, and you say you're a party member, what is the one thing you will be saying there? And let's assume the deadline of, you know, the agreement, March 2026, has come and gone. ODM and UDA in an election pact, a coalition. Do you think these two parties share similar ideals enough to go it together in 2027?
You know, funnily enough, I believe all Kenyan parties or political vehicles believe in the same thing. We all believe quality of life has to improve. We all believe there should be some level of social welfare. We all believe in all the same things. What parties in Kenya actually disagree on is the journey, the method of getting there. For example, UDA is bottom-up. ODM or Azimio was talking about 6,000 a month, more equity in social welfare. Again, that question comes down to a plebiscite, to an election, and people decide once given the choice of those factors. But I believe if people are able to give the country a clear path, a direction, where the people feel included in their governance, where they trust their governance, and where they feel this is the right way to go, I believe anything is possible in Kenya.
So you believe UDA and ODM are somewhat similar in ideology?
I believe crazier things have happened in terms of, do you remember the 2000 when NDP joined with KANU? I believe sometimes means to an end. Crazier things have happened. Yes.
So if it were a means to an end, what end would that be? If ODM and UDA were to...
the lives and the living standards of the people of Kenya.
Do you believe UDA shares that ideal?
Yes, I believe, especially because they're quite religious leaning. And those are some of the things that we are taught about in Christianity, in Islam, and they're more of a conservative party. I do believe they want the best for Kenyans.
But yet you think the conversation about a pre-election pact is...
premature.
Okay. At what point would it be mature?
After we have assessed the achievements of the 10-point agenda. The 10-point agenda is a contract. It's a guideline that we are meant to assess the governance of Kenya. After we have assessed, and if some things have not been achieved, it's also part of governance. Sometimes governance is slow, sometimes it's fast. Okay, you've not finished now, will you finish in April? Will we
do you think, what's your assessment of the progress of the achievement of the 10-point agenda? We've got less than 2 months now.
Yes.
To the deadline. So what's your personal assessment of that 10-point agenda and the achievement of all of those
I believe there's still quite a few outstanding points that need to be addressed.
Do you think they can be addressed by March the 10th?
I don't believe it's for me to address them. There's an ADCO report, there's a team working on it.
But in your view, based on how things are going and how they have progressed over the last, say, 9 or 10 months...
I want to be optimistic.
Okay. So which parts specifically do you think have yet to be addressed?
Compensation of victims, space for youth, there's anti-corruption. A friend of mine was saying the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, we never see them nabbing anybody before the fact. There are very many questions that need to be answered. The reforms have to be tangible. And you ask me questions, but I don't believe the onus is on me. There was a committee that was selected to do this work. The question is for them.
But you are a member of ODM.
Yeah.
And therefore have views on a pact that ODM has signed, or an agreement at least, a 10-point agenda between ODM and UDA. So as an ODM member, are you optimistic that by March this will be all resolved? I mean, for instance, compensation of victims.
I'm hopeful. Yes, I am optimistic.
What would it take to get that? Because there have been some legal hurdles.
I cannot tell you, I'm not an expert in that matter. But I believe the point of a parliament is to put pressure on the executive to achieve the things that the people have mandated them to do, at least the parliament that I am. And therefore, those are the questions that bodies such as those should be asking, because they represent the people. So where are we in terms of this agreement we made with the people?
As a young person, and you talk about finding space for young people to not only speak their mind, but perhaps also have some type of economic prosperity. Do you think this current administration, for which you say that's one of the important issues of the 10-point agenda, and you said ODM and UDA have similar ideals, do you believe that UDA as a party and its party chair, the president, has the best interests of youth like yourself at heart, considering the events of June 2024 and 2025?
Which events are you referring to?
Pardon?
Sorry, which events are you referring to?
The protests in June 2024, after everything that has happened, because you talk about the young people being an important constituency. You've talked about ODM and UDA being similar in ideals. So do you think UDA as a party, considering the 10-point agenda, wants the best for young people and has their best interests at heart?
I cannot answer on behalf of UDA. I am not a member of that party. I'm not a member of government. I do not speak on behalf.
But that is a key point in the 10-point agenda, is it not?
It absolutely is.
And you are a member of ODM. That is together with UDA in this agreement, in this 10-point agenda.
The agreement to foresee this agenda.
Right, yes. And so as a party member of ODM, I'm just asking about that specific point in the 10-point agenda with respect to young people. Are you satisfied with the progress that's been made? Are you satisfied as one arm or a member of one arm of this agreement? Are you satisfied with how the other side is treating young people in this country?
I think you're mixing two questions there. Is it the treatment of people, or is it if I'm satisfied with the progress? If
the progress of how they're treating young people.
No, the progress of creating spaces for young people.
Okay, let's talk about that.
No, I'm absolutely dissatisfied. 75% of this country is made up of young people. Until we get some parity, I'm dissatisfied with the spaces that are being opened up for young people.
What would you like ODM to do with respect to this broad-based government and looking forward to the 2027 election?
I would like an ODM to organize itself first before we start to speak about coalitions and pacts towards 2027. It's far too early to be talking about certain coalitions. But I believe ODM needs to strengthen itself, re-energize its grassroots, listen to its members, and follow the creed of its people. That is all I think ODM should concern itself with at the moment, before anything else.
All right, and part of that is, I think in terms of reorganizing the party, there is, the party leadership seems to be in different spaces. I want us to listen to you speaking about at least one leader of the party, and that's the Secretary General, Edwin Sifuna.
Leo naleta the greetings kutoka mandugu zangu Babu Owino na katibu mkuu wa chama Edwin Sifuna. Tuko pamoja, msijali.
What do you think of Edwin Sifuna's performance as Secretary General of the party, especially considering everything that's happened in the last 3 months?
I think as a custodian of the party constitution, I think he's been stellar. I think as a representative of the people of Nairobi, he's one of the more popular elected leaders. And I believe that Edwin Sifuna has a right to say his opinion. And even though you may like or may not like what he says, he is an elected leader that represents a certain people. And he has a right to speak whatever it is that he would like to speak.
Are you working with him in any way? And allow me to ask this because there are perceived factions that we see playing out in the public sphere between the party chair and others on one end and the Secretary General of the party of which you are a member on the other. He has made his views known on the talks for coalition, on the 10-point agenda and how that is being managed. Are those views you share? I
really resent the the classification of factions. I think our politics is being personalized. Like I said earlier, I may not agree with you.
What would you call them?
But I defend your right to say. I think it's personality politics, and I think it's quite unfortunate that people are being hypocritical. I've heard people saying that so-and-so must leave the party because they're talking to so-and-so at night. But even you're talking to another so-and-so at night. And I believe people are settling political scores that they may have had, and I don't think it's right to chase anybody. This party belongs to everybody. And so if you tell one person that they have to leave the party simply because they don't agree with you, what are you then saying to the people that elected him? That we don't care what they think? He has a right, and he has a right to say, and he has a right to believe what he believes in. And that is ODM. Everyone can say.
Yeah. So you say people are talking to so-and-so at night. Is everybody in the party talking to so-and-so?
Even me.
And who is so-and-so?
Even me. Today, I'm talking to you, and it's very late. But even me, they'll say I spoke to Yvonne Okwara in the night, which is true. We spoke. Those are things people say. I mean, it's politics. It's petty, but it shouldn't get to the level that it's getting to. And even us as younger members are getting concerned. Can somebody call us to order?
Is there space for young people in ODM?
Yes. May kick and scream to get it, but there's space.
Okay. I'd like us to take a look at some feedback and questions and comments from the public. Yeah, you can read that as well. In the interest of public accountability, it would be insightful if Madam Winnie highlights her key contributions and achievements for the country while serving in the East African Legislative Assembly. Do you want to take that?
Oh, yeah. It's quite unfortunate what has happened to the Regional Assembly. The Regional Assembly was created for a purpose, integration. And actually, if you look at the history of the Assembly and the laws and the Hansard, the Assembly has passed every law that was needed for integration. But right now we've moved to a different point, which is the point of ratification. Now, for example, in Kenya, the East Africa community is ingrained in our constitution. In other countries, it's an act of parliament. We've had a situation where countries have come in, some who don't use common law, some use Sharia law, some don't speak French, and therefore the parliament has been caught up in a lot of bureaucracy, teething issues, instead of being able to handle certain things. I personally, in my capacity, have been pushing for issues around tech, digital literacy, digital penetration, and online safety. And when I say digital, it's not just giving people a computer. The use of digital in every aspect, the use of digital in agriculture, smart farming, smart fishing, the use of digital in just young people being allowed to go on TikTok and make something to eat for the day. The use of digital in all these spaces that, as you've seen, even recently, some may feel they need to make that space smaller. And so therefore, that's what I have done in my capacity. And in terms of the effectiveness of this parliament, unfortunately, the parliament has been grounded for almost close to 2 years because it's unable to fund itself.
Let's take another question now. This is from Samson Kamau Nyeri. If ODM does not field a presidential candidate in 2027, will that not totally weaken the party?
Yes, I agree with Samson. Yeah. Point of a party is to be competitive. Point of the party is to have people in positions of power. For what reason would you not have a presidential candidate? The party has 8 million members. Are we saying there's not one that is fit enough to run for president, we have always fielded a presidential candidate. And so I agree with Samson, that has potential to weaken the party.
Yeah, that would be a key, if not the most key point of a conversation in a pre-election pact between ODM and UDA.
Perhaps, but like I said, these talks are too premature. What I learned is a lot of people say they're students of Baba, but a lot of them were sleeping in the back of the class. Pre-election pacts are done 3 months to an election. They are not done a year and a half. They are not done when you have not organized your party. They are not done if you don't have an agenda you're selling the country. They are not done if you don't agree. They are not done if you don't know whether the referee is capable of achieving an election or not. For me, people are not focusing on what needs to be done first.
Well, President Ruto said in response to some concerns from members of UDA about a possible election pact between ODM and UDA, he said UDA has the presidency and that is the position. So it would seem they've already taken a position with this one. Is that even in a pre-election pact that UDA would be fielding a presidential candidate, presumably, of course, the incumbent. If that becomes the sticking point.
But it's presumably so. It's presumably so that the incumbent, the sitting president, will run for a second.
Let's say that he does, which
he will.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And you say ODM not fielding a presidential candidate would weaken the party. If he insists, and he's going to be the candidate, should ODM then continue in a pact with UDA?
I believe the two matters are not intertwined.
You don't think so?
No, I believe the matters of UDA and what they want is actually the point that I need ODM to get to. We need to organize ourselves. We need to decide if we have a candidate. We need to organize ourselves as other parties are organizing themselves. We don't need to start now saying, we're giving up, this is what we're going to do. No. We need to give our people and our supporters a fighting chance. So, like I told you, I'm not a member of UDA. But I believe the president is doing exactly what he should do.
Let's take another question now. And this one is from Araprono in Bomet. Winnie is just being dishonest or plain ignorant? Sorry, go listen to Raila's speech at the late Phoebe Asio's burial in Homa Bay. He even talked about 2027 and beyond. If in doubt, refer to that speech again.
It's not a question.
It's a comment. Let's get to another one. Mukhtar Khalif from Wajir says, I come from Wajir West constituency, the only northern Kenya constituency which embraced Raila's opposition party in 2002. To date, we've never benefited. How will ODM ensure we don't make an exodus defection to UDA?
By incorporating his and other people like his views in the party. I think it's exactly what I've been saying. The party must reflect the needs and the will of the people. Otherwise, you will have a hemorrhage.
How likely do you think there would be?
Unlikely.
A hemorrhage? Okay. Not likely to have a hemorrhage?
Unlikely. It's a party of 20 years, I told you. It's like a marriage of 20 years. You're going to have some fights here and there, but you and the person you're married to will figure it out.
Sometimes even those end.
Sometimes.
Marriages even that are longer than 20 years.
Sometimes, yes.
Could this one end?
No. ODM will not end.
Let's take another one. Ibrahim in Mandera, if divide and rule destroyed past regimes, why does ODM seem comfortable using the same tactics it once fought against?
I'm not quite sure what...
Do you think there's any such tactics being played in the party?
Divide and rule? It's a difficult question, the way it's been framed. I don't know who's playing that game and who...
Do you think there's anybody playing that game within the party?
They're referring to. No, but I think there are those who would like to. But this is very normal for ODM to not agree or to think on different paths. I don't think anyone...
Who are those you think would like to play divide and rule in ODM?
I think you should have asked me that 2 hours ago before The studio lights started to get really hot.
Is the question invalid now?
It's like completely invalid. Now I've turned down.
Is it invalid? I did ask you about the party, and
I answered it.
Yeah. So is there anybody you think that is playing divide and rule?
You can refer to my answers then.
Another question? Here is G. Okumu, I suppose. Kindly tell Winnie that all political parties are by mandate formed to capture power. ODM is not an exemption. So her alluding that M in ODM means a forever movement in the streets is total baloney. Raila always vied for president to change lives on inside government. I believe that's... I
believe he agrees. I think he agrees with me. Perhaps he misunderstood me.
Yeah.
ODM is forever a movement. Even the point of capturing power is to move and change the lives of people. I think he misunderstood me. So it's difficult to answer that.
Let's get another one. This is from Agumba Steve. What is it that awaits us at the NDC? I mean, what's ringing in her mind for the NDC? And by the way, the parallel ODM meetings they're holding, are they for the good or bad of the party? Oh, this is a loaded question. Finally, 2027, what seat are you eyeing? This is from Steve Agumba.
I don't think there have been any parallel meetings I have called for of the party.
No, but there have been parallel meetings of the party, not necessarily called by you.
Again, people are searching for the views of the people. Like I said, I think that's perfectly normal. That's perfectly expected that people will be doing that. That's how the party is.
Okay, so what's in your mind for the NDC?
Yvonne, I believe I've just answered that question. The NDC first has to answer, the party first has to answer a few things, and in my mind is talking about reforms of the party, decentralizing party governance, strengthening the grassroots. That's what's in my mind.
All right, let's take another one. Do we have another? Yes, we do. And then we can come back. Victor Odhiambo in Machakos. Good evening. Ask Winnie, Honorable Winnie, what is the target of our president towards our mum in regards to the position that he has awarded our mum? I think you've answered that one. Here's another one. Before we get into another, somebody reminds me of what you said about copy-pasting Baba, and so that I don't put words in your mouth, let's listen to it.
Hauwezi copy-paste Baba. Huwezi copy-paste the greatest leader Kenya has ever seen. Ati unabadilisha na huyu, ati sasa tuko na Baba. No, haiwezi kuwa hivyo. So sisi kama watu wa ODM, lazima tuongee na watu wetu. Lazima tuongee na mavijana, tuongee na wamama. Pia wazee tutaongea nao.
Again, now that we have you here, just to get some understanding.
Who
is trying to copy-paste Baba? What were you alluding to here?
I was alluding to those who keep saying, Baba told us this, Baba told us this. Those that trying to speak for Baba.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. Either Baba told us or he didn't. You cannot take words that you were told in private, i.e. copying them, and come and paste them in public, and you're the only one who knows about it. So that is what I was alluding to.
Okay. Allow us to just read 2 or 3 final comments, and then we can close our conversation. Actually, let's have it as 2, right? Okay. Let's see what we have. We've got this one from George Marita in Kisii. Says, you are an embodiment of the true spirit of Raila Odinga and all that he stood for. Those thinking otherwise are wrong, since the coveted mantle passed from Oginga to Odinga and now to the lineage of Odinga in the person of Winnie, because always that is who Odinga presented to Kenyans. Let's take another one, final one. Mercy in Kericho says, good evening. I've been an ODM member since, but have never healed because of Baba's death. But I would like Winnie to be the party leader of ODM, because when I listen to her speeches, she's like Baba and she's giving me hope again. That's a good place to wind it up. For those that say you should be the party leader, like Mercy?
I like Mercy because she's a dreamer like me. I dream big. But I believe ODM, as big as a juggernaut as it is, needs an experienced leader, somebody who has experience at high levels of governance and management, and somebody who has, strong convictions on what it is about the party wants to do. I don't believe it's a job that, I don't believe my feet have grown that big yet to fit in those shoes.
What's next for you?
Well, right now I'm going to go home.
Right.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, next month, next year, what's next for you? What do you see for yourself? I know you've talked about what the people might ask you to do, but what do you want to do, Winnie?
I want to honor my father's legacy. I walked this journey for a long time with him. I believe in him. I believe certain truths, things he taught me. And there are certain moments where I believe he would be rolling in his grave.